This is Courtney. I play McKenna Ali, your favorite Loxodon. Well, let's be honest, your favorite character. I want to thank you for joining us on this adventure. Starlight has taken a lot of love from all four of us, and from the bottom of our hearts, we are so thankful. Every review, every subscribe, every Patreon subscriber, or in any way that you give back to Starlight means the world to us. And in case you didn't know, each rating or review helps reveal our podcast for those finding new podcasts and adventures to go on. I truly hope you enjoy the venture ahead. Until next time, see you later, Spacers.
Hey, welcome to another bonus episode of Starlight. We're glad to have you here for this. We are very excited to give you another sneak peek into the world of Starlight, into the world of my mind, Isaac, your GM and host, as well as the creative license that one of our players, Courtney, comes up with on a regular basis. This is meant to further the story and give you a richer understanding of the world and things that might come in place and have an effect with the current narrative that are affecting the Spacers. And so without further ado, let's move away to somewhere far, far away. It's warm. It's always warm here. Almost nearly on the verge of being too hot. Iptorn, a small planet located in the Galar Corn, is, from first appearances, nothing more than a decrepit moon wasteland, frozen and barren on the surface, pockmarked with holes. Most people would not take a second look. However, Iptorn is interesting. Interesting in the fact that within these great crevasses and holes, there is a livable terrain. Super volcanoes exist within a pretty hollowed out area that exists just below some of the first layers of the geographical makeup of the moon. These super volcanoes that exist further in the crust provide warmth as well as livable environments for the creatures and fauna that exist underneath the surface of Iptorn. Everything here has grown to survive without the light of the sun, although sometimes the sun does peek through, depending on the placement of the plants and animals where they have lived in regards to the holes that are now used as byways for dragons and ships to get in and out of. And you find Iptorn is home to quite a few different characters and places. The Galar Core is a bit out of the way and has always kind of had a bit of a seedy reputation. The people that live here are tough. The cities are interesting. Most often, the cities are built upside down, coming off of the ceiling of these like great caverns because of the volcanoes that exist beneath them, and have a bubbled top that allows, if anything were to fall, it would never actually fall into the lava. If the anti-gravitational machinery were to fail, the people that walk upside down as if it's right side up would fall into the bubble versus into the lava. And it is an upside down, different type of world. It's in this world right now, this city. The name doesn't matter. You've been to so many cities. You've done this job millions of times. And right now, all that matters is you escorting Gladys to where she needs to get. You find yourself walking through back alleys, through deserted streets, past bazaars. People call, creatures can be heard and seen scurrying about. There's a huge homeless population, and there's a unfair share of anything ranging from like acers to spice purveyors and other such drugs. Describe what you look like, please.
I am short, but muscular, and I'm quick on my feet, and I am averagely dressed. Nothing that makes me stand out. Lots of greens and browns, and maybe a yellow belt that shines a little bit, but just enough to blend in. Very basic hair to my shoulders, brown eyes, deep brown eyes.
And how are you dressed?
Browns and greens, pants.
Okay.
So I'm easy to move around. A long trench coat, if you will, with green pants and a white shirt underneath.
And unseen to anyone else, but something that you feel very firmly, holstered to the side of your leg, there is a pull-out pistol. Extra insurance. Gladys looks about nervously. She has short cropped hair. She has the appearance of someone of human descent, although you wouldn't put it past that maybe perhaps there is some sort or amount of pug in her, and she nervously follows behind you. Are you sure this is safe?
Trust me, Gladys, we must go.
Oh, okay, I trust you. But I thought that they were supposed to be here to I thought your contacts were going to be here to pick us up soon.
They'll be here. No second thoughts. Keep going.
Okay. And as you're pushing through, what do you see as you're taking her through the various courtyards and passing various people? What's kind of the scenery of beings that you are now leading her past?
Well, the structures are what's really interesting. There's statues that are broken. There's arms on the statues that have fallen off. There's legs. There's missing fingers. There's just weird things that have happened to the statues. And the buildings almost look like small cathedrals, kind of dark looking and almost like old cathedral style, really intricate buildings, but very dark feeling. And the people feel like the kind of people you would run into in Diagon Alley. You don't feel safe here unless you're part of the Slytherin house, which I'm not.
She was looking around and at all of these buildings, kind of following your lead. She pulls on the coattails of your trench jacket and points at one of these buildings, one that's not quite so decrepit. You can see that although most of these buildings have fallen out of disrepair, this is one of the few that hasn't, although it has been taken up by vagrants. You can see shattered windows. There is one window, however, that still has its hologram playing, almost like the replacement of stained glass windows are now replaced with changing hologram windows. Mm-hmm. And you see images of the reveries. You see images of the church and their disciples, the ordained, the religions that have been chosen to be proper and respectful and redeemable in the eyes of the Federation are shown. And they represent all, like, one small aspect of every different credo and race under the Federation banner. All except for perhaps the very few Loxodons that still exist within the Federation. Then the image kind of flips and crystallizes on a man's face. This man is old, but still filled with the vigor of someone much more youthful than he is. Deep frown lines crease the sides of these lips that look like they have never smiled once in their entire life. Deep, beady black eyes kind of gleam out. The hair is white and smoothed backwards across his head, And he is dressed in a high red collared jacket. And off of the collar and the jacket itself hang hundreds of thousands of tiny, tiny little crystal shards that just shake. And a voice, like, comes from some hidden PA speaker that says,
"The reveries are always watching. The reveries are always watching. Do not fret, my children. The sins of tomorrow, they will be purged. The sins of yesterday, if you have gone for the purging, will be forgotten. There is only one grave sin, and that is anything that would break apart this holy federation."
and then the eyes of this man kind of sweep knowingly.
"The echoes of the Great Ones watch over this great, great universe."
And then it starts flicking away as you guys start to leave, and she shakes her head. She says, "I don't like him. Chancellor Ballastar, he gives me the creeps."
Nor should anyone with their right mind. He's not to be trusted, especially you should not trust him, Gladys.
I would, of course I wouldn't. My kind, we don't. I'm sure that would be glad to personally get rid of me.
It is easy to be convinced otherwise, though, and to get yourself in a trap. So do be careful when we're not together anymore.
What would I do without you, Agent,
Platebreaker.
Platebreaker. And I'm June. And I'm June. June. You guys start to turn a corner, and ahead, you can see an archaic starship on what would be like something kind of like a docking bay. The edge of the ceiling bubble kind of starts to kind of slope upwards towards this to where the bay kind of like meets these sliding doors that would let any ships in and off. And as you guys pull into view, there is a rumble and explosion. You look down, or is it up? You're not really sure, but you can see a volcano just kind of like spit off some fire. There's like a little increase of heat, and then it kind of swelters away. The shield both protecting you from falling and protecting from any unsustainable heat for any living organisms. There's a pile of crates. There is all manner of items that would be used for shipping or whatnot. And the door to the starship is open. It's not a dragon. It's an old-fashioned, archaic starship made of metal, powered by electricity and fuel. But it's, for an organization like yours, Agent Platebreaker, it's the best that you guys can do in general. Also, most people don't track the buying of these vehicles anymore. You look ahead. Who is it that you're expecting?
Dr. Kristoff?
Dr. Kristoff. You raise your head, looking, checking your surroundings as you do. When you look ahead, there is something odd. The door to the ship is open. The walkway is down. And it is not standard practice for the people of your operations to proceed in such a manner. Usually there's some calling, confirming, and then opening. That way, and the engines are always running.
I am gonna go up the walkway with my pistol drawn.
Okay.
Or like secretively drawn so no one sees me walking
up. Why don't you make a stealth roll? That's with your dexterity.
10.
So as you start to draw the pistol, Gladys goes, "What about me?"
Gladys, dear, I just need you to stay close to me.
Okay. All right. And that's when you guys kind of start to step around. As you're drawing the pistol, there is a man's voice that squeaks out, "Hey!" And you see an extra short dwarf, long wispy beard, kind of waddles out. He's dressed in a jumpsuit and is carrying a ledger. "Is this your ship?"
Maybe. Who's asking?
"Well, I am. I'm the dock master."
Nice to meet you.
"Well, it's going to be nice to meet me after I give you a fine."
Oh, I'm so sorry. What's the fine for?
Landing illegally, not giving over the codes.
I'm so sorry. Let me find the captain of our ship.
The captain? I thought you said this was your ship.
No, I did not say that.
Oh. Well, yes, I would very much like to see the captain. Can you make a deception roll?
10?
He pulls up the ledger, kind of rifles through some bits of it, and says, "I don't have all day. I got things to do."
I don't know where he went off to.
Well, go on, because I went up in that ship and I looked and there's no one there.
Okay, I will go look. Thank you.
Yeah, and what
was your name?
My name?
Yes.
You can call me Dock Master.
Dock Master?
I am the Dock Master.
Dock. I thought you were saying dark, but you're saying Dock Master.
Dock Master.
Dock Master. Got it. I am Juniper Plate. Nice to meet you, Dock Master. As I'm looking, can I pick you up anything?
Oh, no.
Are you sure?
I would like to see you bring out this supposed captain. Because if you know them, I need to talk to them. Otherwise, the ship is getting impounded.
How much is the fine?
The fine?
Yeah.
He pulls up another page and starts kind of looking through it. That's going to run you about 5,000 credits.
For parking in the wrong place?
Yeah.
It was an accident. That's a very expensive accident.
Accidents don't fly here.
Wow, this is not a very forgiving place, now is it?
You're an Iptorn. What do you expect?
A little bit of hospital.
Go find the captain.
Yes,
or
sir.
come out, and I'm going to impound the ship unless you want to pay for the fine.
Got it, Dock Master. And I salute.
Gladys looks at him, looks at you, unsure of necessarily what to do.
Gladys, come with me. Come on, dear. We have to
go. Okay. All right.
We never want to stick around too long in the same place, especially when someone has seen our face.
Okay.
Come.
So you start making your way into this ship, and it's a mid-sized freighter. There are many compartments, many different. There's like about 3 different rooms, not to include the main mess hall, which has like a kitchen and a short like dining area in it. The data chips, which would be used to turn on the ship and fly it, are nowhere to be seen. So, from a cursory glance, you don't find anything. What do you want to do?
There's no way that I can just get the ship and go.
You need the data chips.
I was assuming that. I'm gonna go ahead.
You could try and like interface your way in and hack it, but that could go very wrong if it doesn't go well.
Yes. I am just going to look around the ship a little more for the captain.
And what do you want to do?
Investigation.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
Okay, so that's an intelligence roll.
20.
All right.
Not 20.
Okay. So you start to make your way around the ship, this time kind of slowing down. You let Gladys kind of follow you, although the ship has very little taste to it. It's purposely left bland. You know which room belonged to the operative, and that's only simply because it's the only furnished room. It's a small little bunk, but it's the captain's bunk. The bed is still down. Like most of these ships, there's smuggling holds often used to smuggle synths and get them to safety. You check those, obviously. You don't find anything. But there's something about the captain's bunk that really draws your attention. And it's this note, and it looks like some sort of a letter that was only halfway finished. And it looks like some sort of like introduction, very almost like a diary type thing, but only about 2 lines in. It looks like the bottom of the paper is covered in red, and you can see where like the line, like it goes from like writing a word to like a sudden line just going across the page.
What does it say that I can read?
It's nothing like special. Okay. It just looks like they were like writing like a little diary of the day, keeping a log, something maybe like cathartic.
Does the red look like blood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to touch it. It's still wet.
Still wet.
Huh. Do you think that's...
Gladys, do not panic.
I mean, I...
Take a deep breath. Do not panic. We are going to leave this ship now and quickly. And we're going to try not to let the dock master see us.
Will you roll a perception roll?
5.
Okay. So you start making your way back to the entrance to the ship, and you pass many different like hold windows to look out. It's only once you get to like the edge of the ship that you see like the edge of the entrance. Before you walk down, you kind of peek down, you see the dockmaster's back turned towards you, and you see 2 members of the Reveries standing and talking to him. They are dressed in complete whites. They have second skin suits on just below. You can see where they have like tubes that kind of feed from their neck into their mouth to help them like breathe if they're ever in space. You can see that they carry the laser swords, which are common to them. And you can see hundreds of small, like little crystals hanging off of their body. And they're all just kind of shaking as they're talking. They nod, and you just pull back just in time as one of them looks in the direction of the ship. And you hear the dockmaster say, "Yeah, I took care of them. They went in there. Just make it quick. Kind of like that ship." And you realize you only have seconds.
We're going to try to stealth past them. Or we're going to go hide where the synths hide.
You're going to try and hide in the hold?
Yes. Assuming those have worked in the past.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to go ahead and roll a survival check and a stealth check. One's wisdom, and one's dexterity.
20 for the wisdom.
Okay, so
not 20. And 20 for the dex. Or 25 for the dex.
Okay, so
that was good.
Gladys is like, okay. And you start telling her exactly what to do, like how to cover the footsteps, how to come in a certain way, and how to also mislead them. How would you like to mislead them before you hide?
I guess I'd like to have, if there's possible, to have noises coming in different areas.
And how?
I don't know. Maybe from the deck. This is a tough one.
Time's getting short.
We're just gonna go hide. I'm not sure how to cover our tracks here. I'll turn lights on in other rooms further away from where we're going.
Okay, so you actually hurry over to the control panel. You start kind of cutting some of the wires, and then you hack your Neuralink into it. Your eyes kind of glaze over white for a second, and you set a timer for lights to be turned on on like a phasing timer, so that way when they enter a room, the room next to them will light up.
And as I'm doing that, I'm going to set a timer for an alarm to go off on the opposite side of the ship in 3 minutes.
Okay. So you get all of that done, and then you head over to the false floor paneling, and you pull it up. You stuff Gladys in, and she's shaking as she gets down there.
I get it myself.
Further, the shaking is further proof in your mind that synths are real. Like, it's true fear. You get down and you close it just as you hear the footsteps coming up. And a voice says, "Right. Why don't you all come out? Make it easy. Your sins of today will be forgiven tomorrow, only if you come forward and confess it. The echoes don't want you lying and protecting the thinking machines. Come on. We've been following you for a while." You hear the footsteps as they start walking across the floor paneling. The lights go up. As lights go up, they start walking towards them. "Hey, this way." "Yeah, I see it. Come on." And they start cleaning the sides of the wall with the hilt of their laser blade. Ching, ching. "You're only making this harder on yourself." And you hold your breath.
And Gladys's hand.
Gladys's hands tighten around you. It's clammy, as like an artificial sweat glands just let off like a light humidifying like spray. And that's when the alarm goes off on the other side of the ship. "Why don't you stay by the entrance of the ship? I'm going to go check it out." And you hear the footsteps as they start walking off. One of the footsteps cross back over your floorboards, like there's a creak of the metal. And then you can hear as the steps come to the end of where the entrance is, and you hear the hiss as the blade turns on. Gladys just whispers to you, "What are we gonna do?"
"We are gonna stay right here for as long as it takes for them to leave."
That's when you hear the alarm get pulled. "Hey, it's a distraction." "Start tearing the ship apart. You know how these things are." And they start tearing the ship apart, looking for you guys. Because of your alarm, they'll roll with disadvantage. And it takes the better of 30 minutes. You can hear the ship getting thoroughly thrashed. And by the end of it, there's a grumble. And they come back together. "I'm going to have his head. You let him get away. Yeah, that stinking dock master. Wasting our time like this. We'll go take care of the ship." The footsteps go back in the ship. You hear the blade turn on, and you hear the sound of circuitry as it starts breaking into the console, tearing it to pieces, making the ship unusable. And then the footsteps come back, and they start to leave. And you can make out the sound of these members of the House of Reveries yelling out for the Dockmaster. If the Dockmaster is smart in seeing them fail, he's already run.
"We're safe. We did it, Gladys. They left."
Gladys is completely shaking, and her back is towards you.
"I want us to stay here for 15 or 20 more minutes, but I think we did it." And I give her hand a little hand squeeze.
She takes your hand, and it's kind of it's shaking, and she points past her to where her back, where like her slightly bigger frame than yours was like covering the view, And you see the operative you were looking for, dead against the wall in the darkened corner where you can't see, slumped.
Oh no. How'd he get here?
They know we're here. And you hear these small footsteps kind of coming back up. And this is probably after about 20 minutes of waiting.
I have my pistol pointing up. So as soon as that hatch opens, I'm gonna shoot.
There is... These footsteps start kind of like clanging on it, and you hear a voice that says, "Hey! You guys in here?"
I'm not saying anything.
"They're gone! They're gone!"
Still not saying anything.
The figure starts stomping around looking for you, and that's when you hear all the hatches starting to get lifted one by one as it gets closer and closer. And
is there any sign on the operative's body of who killed him?
Just
or
some,
what killed him?
Just some, like, looks like some laser bolts.
Did this Dockmaster have a laser, or just...
You didn't see any laser on the Dockmaster. As the Dockmaster gets closer to your hidden compartment, you've heard the Dockmaster kind of, like, saying, like, trying not to be loud, and now you can make out what he's saying as he's getting closer. "Agent Trout! I'm Agent Trout! I had to kill Agent Honorbound. We're gonna get you out of here. I sent them away. I got them off the trail." And then you hear the hiss as the top of the...
Do I know the name Agent Trout?
I want you to make a history check.
20?
The name Agent Trout, you've heard it before on comm channels. The top starts to open with a tss. Do you do anything?
I wait to see how he responds.
When it opens up, you see like the dwarf's head popping over. A little thing of sweat kind of on the sides as he kind of wrings his head and he goes, oh, thanks for not shooting me. I would have understood if you did. I had to get them off your trail. They knew Agent Honorbound was going to be here. I got another ship. We'll get June out of here.
I'm having a very hard time trusting you, Agent Trout.
Read, scan. And he holds out his forearm where you see a number.
Okay.
Then you go ahead and you scan that with your Neuralink.
Okay.
And you realize that he is a part of the organization.
S.F.F.
Yes, the S.F.F. And
okay,
he helps you and June up, and he says, I don't... They're looking for me, so I don't think we have much time.
Great.
I got a hidden ship. No. She gets passed off to me. You have a different mission now.
Oh.
This one comes from the top.
How do I know it comes from the top? I need proof of that.
He hands you a comlink.
Okay.
He goes, your time on Iptorm's done. Agent Honorbound. He was a turncoat. Just a traitor. You can go through his stuff. We discovered it a while ago.
Oh. Okay.
I know. I'm sorry. Come on, June. We gotta get you out of here.
Where is she going?
I'm getting her off to XRN1.
XRN1?
Yes.
Okay. Where's that?
Core Worlds. Right where they aren't expecting a synth to go. We have a new life for you, June. You're gonna be a florist.
Why can't I go? Why can't I take her?
I don't know. It's classified.
Who can I talk to about this?
He motions at the comlink. And you see that there's like a button to press to create, like, to have like the little, like, to listen to the communications.
I do that.
So, do you let him take June?
No.
Okay, well, so he's like hesitantly like looking back and forth. He kind of has his like, he pulls.
I'm gonna go with him wherever they're going.
Okay.
At least intermediately.
Okay, I want you to go ahead and roll a stealth roll as you guys are all sneaking through Iptorn.
7.
All right. So, he starts leading you very adeptly through the back streets, and starts taking you towards a much more like decrepit bay that looks like it was once a bay and has now been turned into a bazaar. The bazaar is empty, and you come to a much smaller starship that's covered in a tarp. He pulls it off. It's like warm to the touch, like it's been warmed up. Everything is like following, like the vehicle's on, but it's just been made to look like an abandoned bazaar. As you're listening to the comlink through this whole time, there is a message that comes through. Verifiable. 157654. And you take that number, you run it through your neural link, and it verifies it has one of the top commanders in the S.F.F. One that you haven't met, but one of the 3 founders.
Okay.
So, the message then proceeds. Originally, there were 4 of us. Agent Platebreaker, you have proven yourself to be adept at finding and tracking down the most needed synths. We need your skills. When we started S.F.F, it was because of the way that we were treated as synths ourselves. That is right. This group, its freedom fighters, are made by synths. We ask for your skills because you've done things that no one else has. Now there is one that you must track down. One of our own kind from the original coalition that were made. You will find all the details downloaded to your Neuralink. It is of the utmost importance that you bring him back to us as soon as possible.
And what is his name?
It's just a transmission. The transmission breaks, but the information starts to kind of upload. And you see a dusty-haired man. Has a bit of a... doesn't look happy. Looks like these pictures of this person, you see them piloting a starship. You get images of this like steely-eyed like glare that they have. There's something kind of cold about them. You also see what looks like that they were a part of the military at some point. You also see an affinity for eclectic wardrobes. You take in the face. You take in the grizzle of these starts of what appears to be a beard and a mustache. Fair features, but also average in some ways. The only thing that stands out about him is the intensity of his stare. And of course, an old cowboy hat that rests upon his head. And with that, Operative Trout takes June into the ship. It starts to power up, hover, turn. It breaks the bubble and blasts off, leaving Iptorn behind, and you with this comlink and information downloading about the last known whereabouts. A spotting of this Clive Jensen on a prison planet. And that is your next mission, Agent Platebreaker.
And I accept it gladly. Goodbye, Gladys.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Starlight. If you enjoyed this, please like, share, subscribe. For early releases, exclusive RPG content, and other bonus material, check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/starlightadventures. And to reach us for questions to be aired, email us at thestarlightadventures@gmail.com. See you next Tuesday, Spacers.